This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial planner. I'm an ape, baby. The one and only ape father in the house. The entertainer. Wow! So everything seems to go back to the government. Like that's every road leads to go back to the government doing their job. Like if we're talking about Uncle Fester for a second, let's talk about him. All his, conspiracy theories, now that we don't own the real shares and the real shares are gone and we only own imaginary Fugazi shares. And, all of it really leads back to the government doing their job. If we look at the investigations happening right now with Citadel into, Ken Griffin and all his illegal activities, it really just depends on the government doing their job. Everything, I just feel like every road that we're on, the manipulation, the corruption, AMC being at these, how is AMC at these prices? Let's talk about it. Let's take the government out of the equation. Can we do that for a second? Let's take the government out of the equation. There's no logical, reasonable, any argument cannot be made right now that puts AMC at $14 a share. We just had our last quarterly reports have been the greatest quarterly reports ever. Do you understand that our earnings were like 1.7 billion gross versus last year, which was 160 something million? We literally made 10 times. Let me repeat this, 10 times the earnings, that we did last year. Now, you want to laugh. I know everybody came into AMC because of the short squeeze, the mother of all short squeezes. But fundamentally, the company doesn't even look too bad right now. You want me to tell you the truth? Adam, Aaron, he's lowering the debt. He's going into other industries. Now, I know we can laugh about it, but the popcorn business is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And he is making certain moves. He's doing a lot of things. Fundamentally, the company's not doing too bad. I think the price, based on the earnings, we should have at least been in the 30s, right? At least. If not the 40s, but at least the 30s. Do you understand we earned 10 times more than we earned last year? Yet we're going down. So everything seems to be pointing to the government. That's it now. It's just reached a level where if the government does not do their job, I don't know, we're screwed. That's it. I hate to say it. That's it. It just seems that way. Because let's assume the government never does their job. Can we just make that assumption? Let's assume that the DOJ investigations lead to nothing. Let's assume that the SEC just lets this go on forever. Gary Gensler remains tied under the table. What's going to come with this? Because according to Uncle Fester, we can't win. Right? In other words, they're just taking all of our real shares. They disappeared into whatever, to outer space somewhere, the metaverse, wherever it is, okay? So what's going to happen? What's the next move if the government doesn't do their job, right? So it's just, it gets to a point, look, I want to be optimistic. I want to win. But you look at no rules being enforced by the SEC. You look at the government taking forever to do these investigations. And I actually think if you would ask most apes right now, they're putting most of their faith in the government, which I think is a very dangerous thing to do. It's a very dangerous thing to do because what happens if the government remains the same thing they've always been, which is someone who is not an advocate of the AMC Apes, not an advocate of the retail investor, who doesn't care about the retail investor. So what do we do then? So you might be like, hey, Paul, this sounds like a lot of fun. It's not that it's fun. It's just that I just feel that everyone is depending on the government. And I think that is not the right approach. All right. I think the right approach is we have to depend on ourselves and we have to figure out a way, where we can make a difference. Exposure, awareness, constantly holding people accountable, which we're not doing right now. We're not holding no one accountable. You got to hold Adam, Aaron accountable. You got to hold Gary Gensler accountable. You got to hold everyone accountable here. All right. So what's your thoughts on this? We need to start thinking for ourselves. We need to start taking action on ourselves. But I just feel everyone is depending on the government. And I think that is a bad move. Let me know what you think. AMC to Pluto.